Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emily and I just want to take a little bit of time and thank everyone for subscribing, for showing interest in what I'm doing. I feel very, very blessed and appreciate every single one of you and your comments, and I can't tell you enough how, like I've said in past videos, overwhelmed I feel. I want to start out this video by just prefacing it. I know that there are a lot of videos coming out right now about different soil mediums, different soil mixtures, and I know that Kaylee Ellen has one right now, if you have not seen that, for her philodendrons. I am a huge lover of philodendrons. My love has gone for the aroid family, and that is what I am mainly going to be talking about today and what I use for my philodendrons, my syngoniums, and I also do use this mixture, but with a little bit more of either coconut coir or peat moss added to this for my calatheas, but that is not what I'm talking about today. I have been using this mixture now since right before summer began. So I would say about April time, I switched over to this. I know that Harley G has just come out with one about her soil mixtures. I still need to look at that and watch it. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody will give you what has been working for them, and you can take it or leave it. This is what has worked for me. I love it. My plants are showing how healthy they are and how much they are liking my soil mixes. And so I'm going to stick with this. I was starting to use Kaylee Ellen's mixture for my philodendrons, but then I started thinking, why fix something if it's not broken? And if my philodendrons look beautiful, if my plants are looking great, they're thriving, they're putting out leaves, why should I why should I change it? So I went back to using, I only did that with a few of my plants that I have gotten that were newer, and I basically took a couple steps back and I said, no, I'm gonna do what I've been doing because it's working. So I'm just gonna show you step by step what I do. I'm gonna try to show you what I do for my mixes. I try to dumb things down because I need things simplified for myself. And so I'm gonna try to do that for other people who learn like I do. And I will show you the bulk of my base right now of my soil. Even though I don't need any right now, I still want to do this for you guys. Okay, so I have my bowl, I have my measuring spoons and my measuring cups and my mixing spoon. I use that only strictly for my soil mixes. I'm gonna look to see if you guys can see this. This, if you cannot see it, a lot of you will know that I have been using this. This is called Happy Frog Soil. It is made from Fox Farms. I love this potting soil. I swear by it, you guys. I do. The guy at the nursery said you don't need to add anything to it to aerate the soil or make the soil so that the roots don't get suffocated. I do, however, because I like chunky soil. This one's already chunky. It has chunks of perlite, charcoal, poop. Yes, I did say poop. There is bat guano, there is worm castings, and there is also sheep poop in this. And that is going to be your natural fertilizers. This is why I will not usually do a soil rinse, because this soil has micro bacteria. I don't know exactly how you say that. There's a word down here. There is basically a good bacteria in the soil that helps jumpstart your roots to grow, to be healthy, to not have so much transplant trauma. I started using this when I saw another YouTuber by the name Gerard. I will link his channel down below on the screen. But Gerard's Horticulture Culture brought this up. I had never heard of it. I was using a Spoma organic potting mix at the time. And I was like, you know, I'm not super happy or convinced with the Spoma. If you use a Spoma, I am not speaking bad about that. It just was not for me. I switched to Happy Frog. They also make another one that I've seen Keely Joy using for her Monstera Deliciosa. And I know that she really liked it as well, called Oceanic Floor. And that's going to be more of a hot soil, which has more acidity or acidicness to it. I am a strong believer of whatever you are putting in your soil, your plants are going to pay you back. They are going to give what you are going to get what you give, just like our bodies. I think about our bodies as a machine. What you put in, if it's healthy, if it's high in nutrients, vitamins, all the things that our body needs, our bodies will run better. Our bodies perform better, we feel better, and we can perform at a higher level. That is how I treat my plants. You guys, I love my plants. My husband jokes around with me and says I treat and feed my plants better than I do my own kids, which is not true, but I treat my plants very well. This is going to be more expensive than just your average soil. I get this off Amazon. I will link everything that I can find down below. This is Happy Frog, the brown bag. I love it. This is the base of my soil. So I am going to put in as the base, sorry about the noise, two cups of Happy Frog soil. It's already got your perlite. I mean, it almost looks like a cactus mix. If you know what cactus mix looks like, it's already got a lot of perlite. It has, let me see if I can find one. See this? It has like chunks of poop in it. I know that's absolutely disgusting. It has poop in it. It has your coconut coir, your peat moss. It's got bark in here. It's got your worm castings. So everything you need is in this soil. I love it. Next, what I add to that is something called green sand from Espoma Organic. This is my calcium and magnesium for my plants. I love this stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. It may not seem like there's a whole lot here, but a little bit goes a long way. So I'm going to add this. It helps if you have a sandy or a clay-like soil. It's going to help bind those things together to make it more of a loamy soil. And if you don't want that, it also does the reverse, where if you have a chunkier, more aerated soil, it's going to help also with that, if that makes sense. I'm hoping that makes sense to you guys. So it's not going to clog up your soil if you're looking for a real chunky soil like I am here. And usually I'll just eyeball this, if I'm being real honest. I'll do 1 or 2 tablespoons, but I'll just use my smallest measuring cup right here and just eyeball what I want in here. So this is about how much, let me see if I can see you guys. That's about how much I will use in my plants. And it's also a natural fertilizer. I asked the guy at the nursery. It's more of a specialty nursery. They carry things that normal nurseries do not carry. And I asked him, I said, well, is that too much of a fertilizer? And he said, no, that liquid fertilizers act differently. Like, how can I explain this? The sand is going to act like the calcium and the magnesium. Then you've got your other fertilizers that are higher in acidity if that plant needs more acidic, like your banana trees and your elephant ears. But this green sand agrees with everything. So even though it says natural fertilizer, it's not going to be a fertilizer where it's going to cause burning. So I do a little bit of green sand. Then, even though this is not the charcoal that I typically use, at the time I did not have a lot of money, and so I just grabbed this charcoal at my local hardware store called McClendon's. It was over with the indoor plants. Now I know that there has been some debate between activated charcoal and regular horticultural charcoal. You want to make sure it is horticultural charcoal for your plants. I understand that, but I have never noticed a difference between the activated and the just plain horticultural charcoal. I know there has been some debate about that. Have I noticed a difference? No. Have I used both? Yes. And I have not noticed a difference in my plants. They like it. I look at it as that's where you're going to get purification. This is where it's going to take out the bad bacteria and just clean the soil of toxins. So I will use, depending on the amount of soil I'm trying to do, I'll just double everything if I'm doing a really big pot of soil, or if I'm planting up a huge plant. But since I'm not needing anything, this is what I typically just do for a 6 to 8 inch pot. I will do about half a cup of charcoal. I will put all measurements down below as well, you guys. So I will get, let me see, half a cup of charcoal. Put that in there. And then I have some orchid bark here. Now, like I said, this is just from down the road at a nursery, McClendon's. I grabbed this. They didn't have chunkier. I like it to be a little bit chunkier, although my plants all love it. So this is what I'm using for right now. And this is just plain old orchid bark. Nothing added, nothing. Just the ingredient says orchid bark. It's not a mix. And if I'm really honest, you guys, I use this mix for all of my plants. My pileas, my Hoyas, almost all of my plants are plants that like more of a plush or a puffy soil, a soil that is very aerated and easy to grow through, not something that's going to be heavy and condensed. So you will see I add 1 cup of my bark, just orchid bark. And then I will take my perlite, just regular perlite for aeration. I will do 1 cup of my perlite. Now, if I am noticing bugs or fungus gnats, I will use a little bit of systemic powder. I have not noticed a whole lot of fungus gnats right now, and I'm also out of systemic powder. There's been some debate about that as well. It causing nerve damage. And a friend of mine, her name is Kathy Murphy. If you go and check her out, she is a lovely woman who has her own YouTube channel that grows a ton of plants, orchids. I can't remember just off the top of my head what else she grows, but she has some beautiful orchids. I will link her channel as well down below here. Kathleen, sorry, her name's Kathleen Murphy. So that is going to be my mix. That is what I use. That's, I leave out the worm castings because my soil already has it in there. I feel like, and I have heard from my friend Norma, who is a friend and a subscriber, telling me that she has totally and completely gotten rid of worm castings because she said it got worse when she started using them with fungus gnats. And so she totally ex-nayed the worm castings. I was using them for a short amount of time. I got a bag of it, but then I withdrew and I was like, I don't really need it. It's already in my Happy Frog soil. I don't need to use that. So that is what I use. And then all I do, you're gonna want to mix it all in. I like using my hands, because I'm partially blind, so I like to feel the texture of what my soil feels like, and B, I feel like I can mix it better, just like cooking. I use my hands a lot for cooking too. So you will still see I have different measurements. I have different way of doing things, and you still will see in the soil here. I'm gonna come around the other side. You will still see my soil is very chunky. It is very chunky. It is very easy for my roots to grow through that. And I have gotten, I'm not tooting my horn, you guys, I have gotten several compliments about my plants looking very healthy and like they're well loved, because I do. I love my plants. I don't know, I love my plants, and I can't express that enough to everyone. So this is what I use. This is my soil mixture. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you took something away from this. If you try this mixture, I would love to hear back from you in a couple months if you use it, if you decide to go ahead with it. I'll love to hear how it works for you, or if you didn't like it, but this is my mixture I have been using since almost day one, since a couple months after my serious plant collecting. And I've been collecting plants for almost a year now. So I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. This is my special mixture of what I use for my plants. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.